Okay, welcome to this week's conversation. We continue the conversation about what's happening in the country, analyzing social issues, economic issues, and political issues. America has what is called the First Amendment. This is a right to freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, picketing, freedom of the press. It's essentially what we call our Article 37. The interesting thing is that in America, for you to be able to exercise that particular freedom, there are certain limitations that are put to that freedom. First, you cannot use obscene words. You cannot make defamatory speech. You cannot use fighting words. You cannot use obvious falsehoods. You cannot use obscenities. The reason I have chosen this particular way to introduce this conversation is because we all argue that America is called the land of the free and the brave. It's where democracy is exercised in its truest form. But even there, they have a limitation to what we call basic human and fundamental rights. And I have just given a limitation. For example, if you want to hold, you want to picket, you want to demonstrate in America, you have to do it in partnership with the government. You have to ensure that you agree where you're going to do it so that they allow the rest of the people who are not demonstrating to be able to go on with their lives and not be affected. So they have to have traffic marshals, they have to manage the traffic, they have to ensure other businesses are going on. Wherever you are, you do your thing. But the rest of the country, the rest of the people must be able to go ahead and do their thing. And that's where I want to start, which was quite a bit of my conversation last week. The conflict currently in the ongoing maandamano that has been called by Raila Odinga and the Azimio team between Article 37 and Article 27, which is Article 27, which nobody is really talking about right now, and I think is a very big thing right now, is that all of us are equal before the law. We're supposed to have the same benefits and the same protections before the law. Meaning, you as a demonstrator have a right, and I want to keep emphasizing this. I completely support the right to picket, the right to assemble, the right to do demonstration, and the right to present petitions. And I said I have gone to court, and I have orders in my name. One, affirming that right. Two, explaining that right. One in 2012, one in 2016. So I am a firm believer of that particular Article 37. But then also, it is important for me to clarify that I'm a firm believer of Article 27, because when I went to court, I was going to the court as an equal beneficiary of the law in our country. There is a time when I am a demonstrator because I have a grievance, and there is a time when I'm not a demonstrator. Both times I am equal before the law. I need to get the same protection and the same benefit like anybody else. Today, why I have consistently objected to the maandamano, which I'm calling mapambano, that have been called by Raila Odinga and Azimio, is because we have seen what happens. Before they began, I said they were going to go like this. When they began, I said it again, and today I'm saying it again. What we see with Raila's maandamano is really not what the Article 37 envisioned. Remember, the right to assemble, the right to picket, the right to demonstrate, and to present petitions to the authorities. The whole idea, the whole spirit of that particular article is it means that any Kenyan has a right to go before any authority, whether it is in your workplace or in government, county government, national government, even in church. You have a right to actually go and say, I don't agree with this. And that is a right that we need to protect for all time. My fear is that for as long as we keep undermining this particular right or misrepresenting it, one day we will wake up and find that that right has been limited or given conditions that will undermine its effectiveness. Why do I say this? Today, when Raila calls for demonstrations, he says he has 4 things that are making him call for those demonstrations. One, he wants the servers of the 2022 election opened. It is his right. He can ask that. Whether it's done or not, that they will debate with the authorities. Second, he says he wants the Cherera 4, the 4 commissioners who were removed from IEBC reinstated. Again, he has a right to demand whatever he wants, right? 3, he asks for the cost of living to be reduced, right? 4, he has an issue about how IEBC is being reconstituted. Now, out of those four issues, he most probably has a lot of support on the cost of living. He has limited support on the issue of servers. He has limited support on the issue of the General 4. And he most probably has 50-50 support on the issue of the IEBC reconstitution. Again, valid issues to him and to anybody who supports him. The law, Article 37, says that you now pick these issues and you go and present them to an authority, right? That is the concept and the spirit of that law. What we are seeing on Mondays and on Thursday is not that law in operation. What we are seeing is actually chaos. And this is what I am reading. Essentially, Raila needs to arrange that I am going to use this route, and I'm going to end up at Harambee House, or I'm going to end up at State House, or I'm going to end up at a particular place. And it needs to be done in a way that every Kenyan understands, especially every Nairobian, knows that Raila is going to be demonstrating on Kenyatta Avenue, so let's not go to Kenyatta Avenue. If you're not part of the demonstrations, use Avenue X or Y to go about your business. Because essentially, the fact that Raila is demonstrating doesn't mean the rest of the country comes to a stop. It doesn't mean that the rest of Nairobians stop doing what they're doing. If I am not part of those demonstrations and I have business in Nairobi, I should be able to go about my business in Nairobi. But Raila wants Nairobi to stall. He actually wants Nairobi to stop. His intention, and this is why I'm saying he's corrupting Article 37. The spirit and the concept of Article 37 is to allow any Kenyan to take a petition to any authority, to present their grievances in any way, picketing or whatever, into an authority. It is not to cause chaos or create an environment for violence or looting, which seems to be what is happening. So if you call for a demo and you don't say which route you're going to use, you don't say where you're going, you just tell people to come out, and then you drive around the city, different estates at different times, what you're actually creating is chaos, instability, you know? And that seems to be what Raila is trying to achieve. And that is my problem with this maandamano. My problem is not with Article 37. My problem is what Raila is doing. Because Raila is not implementing Article 37. Raila is ensuring that he creates an environment that basically sabotages our economy. And that is not the intention of Article 37. I want to re-emphasize this so that everybody's on the same page. Article 37 is meant to allow any Kenyan to take a grievance to any authority peacefully, and he should be given protection by the police and allowed to do this. It has a process. It means when you do this, there's a process to what you're doing. There is a beginning and an end. I am beginning here, I am going to do this, and I'm going to end here. When I look at the maandamanos that have happened in the last 2 weeks, I cannot tell you where they began. I don't think anybody knows where they began. One day we saw Raila in Kawangware, the next day we saw him in Embakasi, the next day we saw him at Serena, right? Then there is no indication of where they're going to win. They're going to end. There was no petition presented to anybody. What we had were political rallies, right? Mobilization of the masses, defamation, fighting words, threats. And then at the end of the day, people went home. And they were told we're meeting again next week. What are we meeting to do? I know, yes, we have 4 issues, but are they in a petition? Does anybody have that petition? Does anybody even have an explanation of what you want to see done? Yes, you want the server opened. How? Who is in charge of opening the server? Because it's not the president. Who exactly is in charge of opening the server? So who are you presenting that petition to? Are you taking the petition to IEBC so that they can open the server? Right? You want the Cherera commissioners reinstated. Who is going to do that? Who are you taking that particular petition to? You want the price of living reduced. Who are you taking that petition to? I would assume you're taking that on to Parliament because MPs are the ones in charge of how budget is done. You also want you also have a situation about how IEBC is reconstituted. Again, IEBC is reconstituted the way it is now based on the law. So if you have a petition against that, you're taking it back to Parliament. Is that what is happening in this maandamano? No. I don't know a single person who will tell me that is what is happening. So what do we have? What we actually have is chaos. What we have is something structured to ensure that as many people as possible are inconvenienced as a means of creating attention to what it is that is going on. And that, I don't think, is what is supposed to happen. I don't think that the Constitution gives you, as a demonstrator, Raila Odinga, the right to interfere with my business as a small trader in Nairobi, or even as a big trader. If I have a hotel in Nairobi, I have a hotel in Nyeri. Assuming every time this happens, I keep asking myself, what if I was in Nairobi? I would have to close my business every Monday and every Thursday. Why? I am not part of this petition. I am not part of this maandamano. I am not part of this process. So why am I being forced to close my business every week, twice a week? Why are my children being forced not to go to school twice a week? And it's only in Nairobi. The rest of the country, children are going to school. So the children in Nairobi are being undermined in their access to education because politicians have a problem with each other. I think it is about time we had a conversation. I know I have said that it is going to be important for the president and Raila, the opposition leader, to sit down and have a conversation. They need to. But I think it's not going to happen because of Raila undermining everybody. You can't force us to be part of your demonstrations, Raila Odinga. You can open up an avenue where those who want to be part of your demonstrations can attend, but you can't force all of Nairobians to stop going to work because you're having demonstrations. I think that is wrong and that is unfair. That is not going to affect the price of living. In fact, you're now making it worse because I didn't open the business today, so my cost of living for that day has actually gone worse. I am not part of the process of putting Cherera and the other 3 commissioners back in office. I don't know how to help you do that. I cannot help you open the servers, right? I cannot help you reconstitute IEBC. So when you stop me from doing my business as a Nairobi business person or going to school as a student in Nairobi, I don't think you're exercising Article 37. And under Article 27, I think you're being extremely unfair to me and to other Kenyans. So I want to put this out there and see, maybe Raila will listen to me. Meanwhile, as a wrap up, last Monday, there were people who actually invaded the property associated with the first president, Jomo Kenyatta, and the fourth president, Uhuru Kenyatta. Whoever or whatever that particular idea was, it was a fundamental strategic mistake. That would open a Pandora's door that we do not know how to shut. That would mean that anytime a president leaves office, the president who comes in after him can actually go after him for whatever reason. It would also mean that we do not recognize and respect ownership of property. That we can chase after each other for political reasons and use political reasons to justify invasion of private property. That was a mistake. I know it happened in Northlands, I know it happened in Spectre. Whoever came up with that idea, please do not do that again. Anyway, we continue hanging out at Ruare, nyama choma kama kawaida, pilau, tea, soup, chai na mandazi, and watching the country grow and praying for our country. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Kenya.